Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Goods, Elevating Outdoor Entertaining, presented by Fire Magic. My name is Lisa Bingham Dewart, and I'm Luxe's Southern California, Pacific Northwest, and LA Homes editor. Today, I'm thrilled to be here chatting about alfresco cooking and entertaining with Boston-based chef and Emmy Award-winning TV personality and lifestyle host, Anna Rossi, who recently installed her very own tricked-out outdoor kitchen. But first, a big thanks to our friends at Fire Magic. So, Anna, just in time for summer and a return to real life, you now have this amazing outdoor entertaining space. So, can you talk to me a little bit about what your primary considerations were as you went about making this amazing area for yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, welcome to my kitchen. It's so exciting to have you here. I wish we were here in real life, but this is the next best thing. I think for me, just like indoors, outdoors, kitchen and the food story becomes the heartbeat of the entertaining experience. It's a place where people just want to gravitate. And so my primary objective was to create a place that people didn't want to leave and felt welcomed the moment they caught sight of it. And also, as an entertainer, a place that could really give me the playground to entertain and host with ease. So, this is the manifestation of a long wish list that has completely over exceeded what I could have dreamt of.
So you kind of hit on it a little bit, but I would love to hear just sort of what your primary considerations were when you were setting up this space in terms of space planning and how you set things up.
Sure. Yeah, so our property itself has like different zones. Like what I have like we have like the pool and the yard where the kids can run around and a cozy living space around an outdoor fire. And then for the kitchen space, the kitchen itself has zones also. So like, I think of it in terms of working our way through the evening. What you see here is like the cocktail zone where I have my refrigeration, my outdoor rated Fire Magic refrigerator and ice machine. I have a really clean, minimal work surface. So this is the area where I can set up sort of the theme for the evening, the tempo. I love signature cocktails. So that's what you'll find there. And then as you sort of move into the gathering or the soiree, I have the grill where you can really deliver some incredible food, whatever you could dream up for the day part or for the menu is what happens here. I have warming drawers. So if I've done prep in advance in the cooler temperature seasons, maybe where I'd have my porcelain plates warming for an outdoor meal, casseroles, pulled pork, whatever. And then the side burner, and I chose to put that on the end. So my big paella pots and pans could just spill over the edge and I wouldn't be limited. And they're also heavy. So I wanted something below counter depths. But it's sort of a progression through a really great evening in the layout itself. And it's also suitable to like how I like to move. Maybe people want to stay, I want to keep them on that side of the counter. Maybe I want to have them come in and have them like peer in under the hood. So it can kind of work to who you're hosting and how you like to entertain.
After living through the last year, did that in any way shape your idea for how you wanted this to be set up? Did you kind of go a little bit bigger, just knowing that outdoor entertaining was such a much bigger priority? Did how did that all shake out for you?
Yeah, I mean, this last year really changes the person on a lot of levels. I think that like this was always my vision and my dream, but what I learned this last year, we still stayed social with our close group of friends, but stayed like 100% outside, even in snowsuits. And so like how do you create a space even in New England, even where we really have these true four seasons where it can be highly functional and a desirable place to be in. And I think the takeaway for me this last year is like when you are entertaining outside, the memories that you create in that evening or that day just are so much more saturated. I feel like being a part of the seasonality, and there's this beautiful synthesis that I feel, especially as a chef, and I love to garden, and that we're like I'm a part of what's in bloom, and being, I love to think that I cook in the seasons, or that's inspiring my menu, but to actually have the seasons here and to be able to pull it in interactively to the cooking experience just leaves our friends with this incredible taste in their mouth. That is what is my hope as somebody who just loves to share my love of food.
It must be something about the sensory. You're really engaging all of your senses in a way that maybe just being inside doesn't, because you've got so much more sensory input from being outdoors. So in terms of putting together your kitchen, what were some of your top cooking, cooling, and storage solutions? What were your sort of on your have to, can't live without list?
Yeah. So my love story with Fire Magic started with the grill. We started out with a freestanding Echelon 1060 grill that lived on our pool deck. And then in that experience of grilling on it, we realized, wow, this is a product that you could build an entire kitchen around in terms of being able to bake, being able to cook, not just grill, the rotisserie and all the fun that you could have. So as we started to expand our thinking, well, what does the ultimate dream kitchen have that we think of indoors? It has cooling and refrigeration. So we have the outdoor rated refrigerator, the ice machine for those blended cocktails, or just being able to put your raw bar on ice and have that accessible right there. Also running water. We easily installed a filter system underneath our sink, so you can have not only that easy deposit for your dishes, but also a great source for like filling up the pitchers. And then beyond the grill, having those luxuries that just make it so much more seamless, like the paper towel holder, the place to put your trash and your recycle, the warming drawer, and so much storage. Because with entertaining big groups of people and also having a grill, let alone a side burner that can handle just so much volume, you're going to have a lot of really big pieces of equipment and accessories. And that's another thing that I just love about Fire Magic is like the vault of accessories, from like pizza stone to griddle to their rotisserie motor to smoker charcoal boxes. Like not having to store that in my laundry room, but to have that just so accessible right here. And part of this story is just such a luxury. Watching the home edit, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta label these things.
And so when you're outside, you basically have no reason to run inside. If you have everything kind of just set up and ready to go, you are 100% in your space then.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, yeah, from having like that little drawer to keep your cocktail napkins and your grill tools and your citronella candles, to having a place to quickly wash your hands, and also power, right? So we're strategic in where we put counter power outlets for like if we were doing something that requires a blender or those little add-ons depending on what you're up to for the evening.
You could plug in your mixer out there, huh?
Yeah. And it's actually, that's one thing that I really love about I did a leathered leathered granite countertop surface. It is so fun rolling out my pizza dough or pie crust. I mean, and again, like that connection to the season, depending on the temperature and the humidity, I just love it. I mean, if you want predictable, stay inside maybe, but there's a lot of play that you can have that just makes you feel so much more connected to the cooking experience.
Now that actually brings me to my next question about the materials and the furnishings that you opted for your space. What were some of your favorite choices? It sounds like that leathered finish was really something that you love a lot. But why choose that? What was the appeal before you kind of started working on it?
Yeah, well, we started looking at our appliances first. So we knew what we wanted from the Fire Magic portfolio, starting with the grill, which is, I think, such a showpiece. And you have that beautiful 304 gauge stainless steel that already has this magnificent luster. And I think just it's like jewelry in the kitchen space. And then building around the appliances. And then having, pulling in stone and durable material. We have existing stone walls on our property. So I went with a uh, New England blend veneer stone finish on the outside of our space, and then blue stone for the interior of the kitchen. And then I love that luster that you get from the leathered finish of a black granite. So nothing too shiny, something that has like a demure quality that plays really nicely, I think, with the stainless, and that just speaks beautifully to it. And then like we were talking about with fashion or interior design, the fun of mixing metals. I had just joy in picking out the lightings that can just like show off the space as we get into the evening hours. So we went with brass under counter lighting to help actually with like what we're doing, but also to just give all the guests that little glow. And then the hardscape itself is a Unilock Easy Clean product that's like a umbrella. So with kids and mustard and ketchup, and if the grease tray spills a little bit, or let alone like foliage season, it's not going to stain. And all of this is like, you have the stone that's meant to last a lifetime. And it, that's another reason why we felt so confident making the investment with Fire Magic, right? Because it's been around for over 80 years. They have lifetime warranty, and it's just deciding to create an outdoor kitchen is a huge investment. I mean, even just looking at the hard surfaces, right? You're bringing in the natural stone veneer and beautiful granite countertops, and doing the electrical and the plumbing. So when you're making that level of investment, you want the appliances that you are setting into stone, literally, to be able to also last a lifetime. And having grilled on a Fire Magic for years before we expanded what our kitchen story was with them, it gave us so much confidence knowing that they were the perfect partner for a project like this.
And so in terms of your furnishings, we can see a little bit of your chairs and things like that. So what was sort of your vision for how you were going to furnish the space and have people be comfortable in it?
We love teak. We love natural materials, materials that we don't have to worry about, that can just wear that beautiful patina that you get with seasons so well. And we have little kids. We have a 6 and 7 year old. So my attitude is the only thing precious in the house should be the kids.
Which makes a whole lot of sense. So, and then what are some of those little things? You mentioned the lighting, and I wanted to dig back into that a little bit about, because if you are using this space, year round, sometimes there are shorter days. How are you making this kind of more suitable for more of the year?
Yeah, well, we worked with Brian Scanlon of Scanlon Design for the kitchen layout. And our original kitchen was going to be much further away from the house. And in conversation with him, we realized, well, we'll get so much more use out of it in New England, especially keeping it close to the house. So this is an easy, like, snow shovel distance inside, as well as benefiting from like the extra storage and refrigeration of the indoor kitchen. It's just a flow where you're pulled out here. And the menu changes. Like, we may not be grilling hot dogs and hamburgers in November, December, and January, but we love doing our Thanksgiving turkey on the rotisserie. The rotisserie handles 75 pounds of whatever you could wish to put on there. And so that's become a tradition. You also have the side burner that is like the ultimate, if you want like the fried turkey, or we do Feast of the Seven Fishes at Christmas, so the clam bake goes on there. And then a new tradition that we have with our group of friends, thanks to this last year, has been like somewhat very competitive curling tournaments with whiskey and kielbasa that pair very well with the season. So I think it's just a lot of fun, like getting getting out of that mindset. Oh, I have to do like chicken drumsticks and hot dogs on the grill, and realizing if you love to cook and entertain, like having an appliance like this just lets you be outside and create whatever you want in the way that you want to do it.
I'm so excited because we get to see some of these pieces in action and see some of the things that you create. So we're going to be asking you to put on your chef hat and show us this special menu that you've created for us today. So I'm very excited about that.
Sure. Are you ready for a cocktail, Lisa?
I am, well, yes, I'm always ready for a cocktail. And the sneak peek I got of the menu, it sounds amazing.
Okay, well, let me take you over there.
So now we get to see Anna in action in her kitchen, making this amazing menu she has designed for us today. So first up is our signature cocktail, because what event wouldn't be complete without a signature cocktail?
Exactly. It makes even a Wednesday feel special, right? So so this is a seasonal sangria. I love using the berries, the fruits that are ripe in the season. So I have some gorgeous peaches that I grilled on medium heat on direct flame to get these great grill marks. And it gives this like almost caramelized nuance to the stone fruit. They're so sweet. So you get this really beautiful char and almost like a candy like crust on the outside. And then these have been stewing in a little Amaro, which has this great rhubarb bitterness to it and a little bit of peach schnapps. And then topped off with some bubbles is so delicious. And to pull in, what's ripe, where we're sitting right now in the season. And you can have a lot of variety in what you put in here. But the other thing I like are things that you can get 90% of the way finished and then top off when friends come. So being able to grill the peaches, have those chilling and stewing with the liquor, and then just add that little effervescence when your friends come, just has like a little bit of spirit and wow factor to it. So that's what we're sipping on today. And I love anything that can go into a pitcher. Putting those fruit notes and sweetness on the grill is really fun and unexpected. And it's just a fun way to multitask when you have things fired up. So with one of our favorite nights is also anything that's Mexican or Latin inspired. We love taco night. We also love to serve things board style, making things feel elevated but also really approachable. So here I've grilled off some corn on the cob, and then I have some fun little fixings. I have a little fresh chimichurri and a fresh like this really delicious aioli mixture for sort of like that smothered Mexican street corn style. But in prepping for friends, taking a little time to do a really nice rub on meat or marinade is a great way to give you that extra step. And then I've grilled it off, and then I'm keeping it warm here in the warming drawer along with dessert. So let me start with the flank steak. We have beautiful flank steak that I use coriander and cumin and cilantro and garlic. And I'm going to fan that out here on the board, mixed with the corn. And I like things that can be mixed and matched. This is great on a salad. You could do this fajita style. And then just you add those little finishing touches when you're ready to serve. So I'm going to give a little slather of the aioli, and then drizzle the chimichurri.
And what's in the, remind us what's in the chimichurri? It's
Yeah, it's fresh parsley, cilantro, shallot, a little red wine vinegar, some garlic, and a little bit of olive oil with sea salt. And I just love like picking the herbs, like having those fresh herbs and ingredients where you can like pull right from your cooking space is so much fun. And then pull them in also with the garnish. So you can see I've put it on top, but then I'm going to also add some big fresh cilantro sprigs here. And then I grilled off some lime too. It's just a fun thing when you have like that char mark that like completes the story here. So I have the lime that people can grab for that extra blitz of citrus, and some warm tortillas will go on the side. And edible flowers, because it's 'tis the season. We have to pull it all in right here. Um, but the other thing, I should say one of my favorite things also is, I've got super high heat where I seared off the steak, got some great char marks going on the corn, and then I'm left with this super hot oven. So I'll drop the heat down, and over indirect heat, pour some brownie batter into a cast iron skillet. This has a little bit of cinnamon and red chili pepper to give it sort of that Aztecan chocolate nuance, and bake it off just like you would in the oven. With the rounded hood on the Fire Magic, you get this beautiful airflow. It's like baking in a convection oven. And then we also decided to go for a magic view window so you can peer in. You don't have to open up the hood and lose that heat. So it's really fun. I keep this in the warming drawer, top it with vanilla ice cream, and people don't even know where it's come from. It's just like, you can bake brownies on the grill? Yeah, here, have some.
I would love some. So one thing about the citrus, and I think I want to talk about that because I don't think people grill their fruit enough. And what you said about the limes, that's great because it also gives that a little bit of caramelizing sweetness that offsets the sourness. So it's super fun. And then the brownie in the oven is just how long does that usually take? Does it work just like you're baking a brownie in your normal oven, or do you have to be a little bit more careful just as the heat's dropping down to pay attention to what's going on with it?
Yeah, so Fire Magic has a beautiful temperature display, so I keep an eye on it, and I like to let it sit like an oven around 300 to 350, and then about halfway through, I'll give a rotation depending on where it's sitting with my burner units. But they also have heat zone separators, so you get a little bit of control, so the flames aren't going to lick the side of your cast iron and scorch the side of it. But when you're working with a heavy metal like cast iron, you have really good heat distribution, and then you benefit from that extra little layer of texture you get on the outside. And I love the things that work best for me are the ones that play well and perform well in my kitchen indoors that I also can carry outdoors, and this is definitely one of them.
Oh, that's an important thing to keep in mind when you're cooking outside, and the translation, because you don't want to necessarily get a whole new suite of cooking surfaces or cooking pans and pots and things like that. So and cast iron seems like it does the trick for pretty much anything, and is safe in a grill. So that's awesome. Well, Anna, this was fantastic, and I am going to have to get the recipes from you and make some this weekend for our friends. So many thanks to Anna Rossi for inviting us into her home, and to Fire Magic, and happy outdoor entertaining, everyone.
Thanks, Lisa. Cheers.